My name is Debbie Henney, and I've met some of you before, and some of you, nice to meet you. I teach economics at Mesa Community College in Mesa, Arizona. That's a suburb of Phoenix. I've been teaching for 27 years, and I spent the first 10 years teaching in a high school classroom. And I love using, active learning in the classroom. So FTE, ever since COVID, we've done more and more of these workshops online, but we like to make these virtual workshops as much like an in-person workshop as possible. That's why we like to have you turn your cameras on and interact. We're going to be in breakout rooms. You're going to be working on teams. We're going to do, you're going to learn an activity that you can take back and use in your classroom. And we're going to do a virtual version of that activity, but you'll understand how it works in the physical classroom as well. So I write lessons like the one that we do tonight, and I'm also the curriculum director for the Foundation for Teaching Economics. And I've been working for FTE for 17 years now. So I have a daughter. I track her age. She was a baby when I did my first one. So actually, I think it's 18 years now. So this is her senior year. She's my youngest. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to do we're going to use Pear Deck tonight. So if you haven't used Pear Deck before, you can use your mobile phone, or you can just open up another tab on your computer, and you're going to go to joinpd.com. That stands for Join Pear Deck. And then you're going to, when it asks for a code, you're going to enter these 6 letters, JELYKC. And I think Debbie Davis is putting that in the chat for us. I'm going to get my chat over here. All right, while you're connecting that way, while you're getting connected to Pear Deck, let's go ahead and find out who you guys are before we start our lesson. So let me put in the chat, I'm going to take this slide down for a minute. So you're going to go to joinpd.com, and the code is JELYKC. All right, there you go. In the chat, I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute so you can see each other. There you go. So let's see, go ahead in the Zoom chat and tell us where you're joining from. I see some of you have already done that. We see Minnesota, cold and snowy. We're getting close to 80 here in Arizona. Chicago, Wisconsin, Iowa. Okay, we've got the Midwest covered. Let's see, we have Ontario. Awesome. So we are Canadian here. Thank you for coming. I hope you don't hate us. So, weird stuff happening these days. All right, let's see who else we have here. Oh, we've got California. So we've got the West Coast. We have Virginia. We have the East Coast, Miami, Florida, Roseville, California. We've got Texas and Arkansas in the South. Great to see all of you guys. Okay, welcome everybody. Let's show a reaction. So if you look along your Zoom tools along the bottom, there's like 3 dots that say more, and you can, I think that's where it is, reactions. Oh, it'll be a little heart icon that says react. And so react if you're a high school teacher. Show me a reaction if you're a high school teacher. Yeah, you can do a thumbs up or a clap or party emoji. Okay, do we have any middle school teachers in the room? I like Theodore's floating happy faces. Okay, we have at least 2 middle school teachers. Anybody teach elementary school? Okay, does anybody teach post-secondary? Post-secondary, okay, welcome. All right, let me put these slides back up. And it looks like we have most everybody connected. So I'm going to go ahead and take down or put this code down. But remember, it's in the Zoom chat. If you need it, it also stays in the top right corner of my slides. And so you'll just enter joinpd.com and use that code if you're not in yet, or if you need a little bit more time. Okay, so what courses are you teaching that are relevant to entrepreneurship? This one you're going to answer in Pear Deck instead of. So in Pear Deck, there's a place for you. You're going to see this exact slide, and there's a place for you to enter your answer. Tell me what courses you are teaching that are relevant to entrepreneurship. Sometimes we have entrepreneurship courses. I know when I do teacher programs in Canada, they don't have economics courses, but it's more common to see that they would have an entrepreneurship course. So let's see what some of your answers are. Stack them like this. Keep typing. You don't have to submit. Your answer will just show up. So we have Introduction to Business, Career in Business. Okay. We have a brand new 9 course called Building the Entrepreneurial Mindset, Business Management and Co-op. Entrepreneurship. Wow. It includes leadership and business management and an entrepreneurial minded career academy. Okay. We have AP Macro, Financial Literacy and US History, Personal Finance and Money Management, Macro, Micro, Personal Finance, AP Macro, Micro, Economics, American Economy. Okay, let's see. 12th grade Economics, Career Development. Wonderful. Okay, awesome. We'll take those down. Now tell me, with your personal definition, how would you define entrepreneurship? Go ahead and type that in. How would you define entrepreneurship? Let's see what some of your answers are coming in. Okay, entrepreneurs create, build a business, offer a service or product to people. A person who wants to start a business and be creative running it, free of government. Person who produces a new product or service and starts a business using that product or service. Create something out of nothing. Owning some type of business. Taking chances to solve problems and come up with new solutions. A person or organization that sells goods or services for a profit. A creative individual who uses the factors of production to create goods and services that consumers want. When an individual takes the idea for a business and brings it into reality. Having your own business or way to increase your income outside of traditional channels, legally, in parentheses, they put down. I mean, you could be an entrepreneur and it could be illegal. So we definitely have plenty of, it reminds me of a book called Freakonomics. Maybe some of you have heard of that or seen it. It's a popular podcast. Now they've turned it into a popular podcast. But the original Freakonomics book, they had a chapter called Why Do Drug Dealers Live with Their Mothers? And it turns out the basic street level, the people that run the organization are very entrepreneurial, but it runs just like a business. And the street level dealers, they actually were like the minimum wage workers, which is why they still lived with their moms. So, okay, taking risks. I don't know that I've heard that word before, but taking a risk to create something and make a profit. The person who wrestles the cat. The person who acts on an idea in an effort to make money. Someone who takes full responsibility for a business. So we've heard the word risk and responsibility. That could mean it could be a success, but it could also be a failure. Seeing a need in society and attempting to meet it. Business innovation. Good. Innovative business leadership. Person that has an idea or a passion and builds a business. The ability to create a business, ideas to solve problems and issues. And the last one, identify commercial opportunities. Okay, those are awesome. Awesome definitions. Here is Joseph Schumpeter. He's an economist. And here's his take on what is an entrepreneur. So let me make sure that, let me make sure I'm going to share again and make sure I'm sharing my sound. Forgot to check the button. Share sound, okay?
Welcome to the Essential Ideas of Joseph Schumpeter. For those aware of Schumpeter, it's likely his work on the nature and importance of entrepreneurship, where he made his greatest contributions to economics. Schumpeter saw the entrepreneur as more than just a business owner. Entrepreneurs are the people who experiment with what he called new combinations of resources. With these, they create new products and services and new methods of production. They discover new markets and resources, and even find new, more efficient ways to organize businesses. Here's an example. Suppose Sam opens a pizza parlor. Schumpeter would not consider Sam an entrepreneur simply because he opens a restaurant. What makes Sam an entrepreneur, in Schumpeter's view, is that Sam introduces new types of pizzas using unique combinations of toppings that no one has contemplated before, like pineapples and bacon with whole wheat crusts. And he revolutionizes how customers order and receive pizzas by offering free delivery by drones. This innovation and experimentation lead to new products, new services, and new markets, which is what makes Sam an entrepreneur. Schumpeter also addressed another important aspect of entrepreneurship, the role of profits and losses. If a new idea, in this case new pizzas and how they're delivered, motivates customers to buy the product at prices at least sufficient to cover the costs, then it's successful. On the other hand, if the new pizza, topped with, say, pickles and rotten eggs, is put up for sale, but people don't buy it, the financial losses signal that it doesn't meet customer wants and needs, and the business loses money and eventually closes. The prospect of profits is what leads entrepreneurs to innovate in the first place. But equally important are financial losses, which also help guide entrepreneurs and resources towards successful endeavors. For Schumpeter, entrepreneurs and their innovative products, services, and processes are the key drivers of economic growth and prosperity. For more information on Joseph Schumpeter, visit essentialschumpeter.org. And to learn about more.
Okay, so I'll share with you these resources, like this Essential Scholars book on Joseph Schumpeter, and where you can find these videos to use in your classroom. But you'll also get these slides at the end of the program, as well as the lesson that we're doing today. So my best definition of an entrepreneur that I could come up with, and you'll see it reflects a lot of the things that you guys said, would be a person who organizes and operates a business. Entrepreneurs take on the financial risk if the business fails, and they reap the rewards of profit if it succeeds. You don't have to be the first person to come up with an idea or invent something to be an entrepreneur. You can, like many of you said, identify a problem or a need and then solve that problem or fulfill that need. So Schumpeter had a list, and he said entrepreneurs can do any or all of these things on the list. And so the first one was develop new and improved products. So either come up with a brand new product that nobody's ever developed before, or improve upon an existing product. They can open new markets. So find a new market in which to sell a product that already exists. Letter C, they can develop more efficient methods of production. That is, making things using fewer resources at a lower cost by introducing new technology or organizing processes better. So we have, batteries right now is a big issue. It's kind of a roadblock to how much more productive can we make, cell phones and technology. And a lot of it is about how much our batteries can store, how long they can last, or how big do they have to be. And we're getting better. It's way better than it was 30 years ago when cell phones came out, right? And phones were this big and the battery lasted for 2 hours, right? We've come a long way. But if you develop a new way to have, a battery that's even more efficient, even smaller, and can last longer, that even something like that would be entrepreneurial. So, and even just organizing the process better. So going in and looking at the way an assembly is, set up in a warehouse, and can you reorganize that production, that assembly line, the way that it's produced to come up with greater efficiencies? Letter D, the entrepreneurs could find new and improved sources of supply. So maybe they discover, a new resource that they could import from somewhere where we haven't imported from there before. Letter E, they can rearrange industries, like, for example, establish a monopoly or break up a monopoly. So everybody hates, Amazon today, but Amazon, before Amazon, it was Walmart, right? And before Walmart, it was Sears. You guys remember Sears? I mean, nobody could compete with Sears. Like they had the big Sears catalog and they dominated the market. And then Walmart came along and ate their lunch. And then people are like, oh, Walmart has a monopoly. How can anybody compete with Walmart? And then Amazon comes along and disrupts that whole industry and moves a lot of shopping online, a lot of disruption. That's entrepreneurial. And what will it be next? I'm sure it will be something, but that breaks up monopolies. And then this is my favorite. You can just copy others who do one of these A through E things. So that you don't even have to be the first person to think of it, but maybe you see that somebody else did that, and so you copy it and say, "Well, I'm going to do that in my town." Here in Arizona, we have and who is from Texas? If you're from Texas, you can confirm in the there we go, Maroon in Texas. We have a restaurant called Salad and Go, and it's just exploded. I mean, they're anywhere where there's a new corner, there's a new Salad and Go. It's like a fast food salad restaurant, and the salads are like $6, and they're huge. They come in these big boxes, and they're really fast. It's a fast drive-through, really inexpensive. And they've popped up in like Texas. They're popping up in Texas, and they're gonna go to other places. So you could just say, "Oh, I see the fast food salad, is really taking off. I'm going to do that in Virginia where it hasn't been done yet." And maybe you call it something different. You're copying, but that's entrepreneurial. So we're going to do an activity today called Build a Better Widget. Okay. And if you were doing this in a traditional classroom with face-to-face with your students, what I would tell you to go raid your supply closet and your pantry at home for a bunch of random resources. So I usually let me see if I have a bag handy here. No, it's out of my reach. So, but so I would get things like I put a list here on the slide that you can look at. Things like that work well that I can grab from home would be like baggies, plastic utensils, paper plates, paper cups, envelopes, index cards. Some of these things I'm going to get from my supply closet at school. Colored paper, coffee filters, get it from your break room at school. They usually have coffee filters, straws, pipe cleaners, little wooden craft sticks, plastic bags that you get at the grocery store, cotton balls, Q-tips, construction paper, any of those kind of things, paper clips. You just grab a bunch of random craft supplies. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. And you don't need all of these things. You just need a good little selection to put in a paper bag. And each group, and I would have the students in groups of approximately 4, but you could have them a little smaller, a little bigger if you needed to. And each group is going to get a bag with the exact same resources. And then I would have some community items available that I'm not going to put in every bag, but I just put them on the front table and anybody can use them. And this is where I would put like the markers and the colored pencils, glue, the stapler, scissors, things like that. For our activity, instead of a bag of fun resources, we're going to have a slide with a bunch of shapes, little widget kind of shapes all over the slide. And you can use those shapes to make a product. So I would tell the students to use the resources in their bag to create something that people would want or need. And then they're going to write the product name on their index card that they're given. For you guys, you're going to come to these team slides. So let me get the link here and drop it. Drop it in the chat for you. So this is going to go to everybody. So go ahead and click on this link in the Zoom chat. And when you click on that, it's going to drop you on to slide number 1, which will look like this. I can see people coming in right now. And you do have the ability to edit, so don't change anything yet on these slides. We're going to send you away to a breakout room. And when you get in that breakout room, you're going to take these little images, these little shapes that are along the bottom, these little objects, and you can move them around, flip them, color, add color, make them bigger, smaller, whatever you need to create some invention, okay? The slide that you're going to go to matches the breakout room. So let me come back to our slides here. So you're going to go to the slide number that corresponds with your breakout room and use the resources on your team slide to create something that people would want or need. Write the product name at the top of the slide and I'm going to give you 7 minutes to do this. Okay, so it needs a name, and you need to put together an invention, something that people would want. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so Debbie, let's do breakout rooms, and let's do 4 in a room. And if we have an odd number, it could be, we could have a room with 3. Is that okay?
Yes, that works out perfectly, actually.
Okay, awesome. All right, so Debbie's going to send you away. If you need help, just raise your hand. But remember, when you get to the room, if you're sent to breakout room 1, stay on slide 1. If you're sent to breakout room 2, jump down here to slide 2. Okay, and so on. Okay, 7 minutes. On your marks, get set, go.
We couldn't figure out how to add color to the slide. We saw people were adding color. We couldn't figure out how to add color.
Well, I'll come in your room next time and show you guys how to do that.
Ted went to ask Debbie, I think.
Ted didn't know how to add color? We'll teach him that new skill.
Yeah, that's what he actually said. He was going to check with a colleague.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So some of you are asking, we'll just show you right now how to add color. So I'm on slide 1 right now. And if you just click on a shape, like this cloud, we'll do the cloud because it's over here. Up here in the toolbar, there's this little drippy paint bucket that says fill color, and you can change it. So we'll make it like a little, it's too much blue on the side. We'll make it a pink cloud. So you can just pick the color. So that's how you do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just go back to your gray.
toolbar.
So what we're going to do is go through each group, and you're just going to tell us about your invention. What's it called and what does it do? So group 1, tell us about your invention. And this is Kimberly, Matthew, Michelle, and Trishanda.
Trishanda.
Okay, who wants to talk?
Yes. I'll talk. It's
Okay.
a service that we're providing. It's our robot. We did the best we could with it. It's a service robot that provides for Alzheimer's all types of services, especially services of talking and listening. That's a very important service, and chores and whatever. So that's what it's a service versus a product.
I like
And
it.
we felt that Alzheimer's patients, unfortunately, do not have the funds to receive the care that they need, unfortunately. And we figure a robot will be cheaper, and we will train the robot to what we want it to do for that patient.
Okay, and capital is definitely a substitute for labor, right? We see it happening.
Yes.
That's why we have to check out ourselves out at the grocery store now. So, and I
Yeah.
can see you've got some wheels here. All right, so a nice service that this robot is providing. Let's go to group 2. And group 2, Jennifer, Matt, and Valerie, tell us about your invention.
So we created the.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We had somebody else too. There was 4 of us.
I think they dropped out. They'll probably be back.
Okay. All right, Matt, you want to talk about it?
Sure. So we created the equilibrium cushion and had a slogan of relaxation, meet and balance. So we talked about when you go to the salon or, maybe get your nails done, you want a cushion for your head or like a headrest. So we have the arrow pointing to the headrest. We see the person in the chair whose heart is full, and they're happy that when they're getting their hair done, they've got a nice, comfortable cushion to relax to get that service completed.
Okay. What does the cloud and the little flash signify? Anything?
They're just happy.
Okay.
Company logo, maybe.
Okay. And I like you guys also have a tagline where relaxation meets balance. All right, let's go to team 3. This is Amy, Anna, Ethan, and Robert. Tell us about your invention.
I can hop in. Yeah, this is your cast. It's just we're all, weather's fun. And if we could imagine something that would totally change the weather at a moment's notice, that'd be pretty cool. Because again, you could balance, whatever you're feeling, but also making sure you don't ever have a drought. Because we were like, we should also have some rain because that's also important. We need a variety of weather. But
all right, so a weather changer, your cast. I like the name. Okay, let's go to team 4. This is Chris, Emily, and Stephanie. Tell us about your invention.
Sure. It really is incredible. It is It is, so starting on the left here with the like little semicircle, it's a maze. So where it's like an escape room or a corn maze or something, right? So you come in, if you go here, you get electrocuted, and you're very happy if you hit the end.
Okay. And the end is where the heart is.
And the end is where the heart is. And then
Okay.
this, I guess the name comes from a song, actually. Chris, I think, has a song that he knew with those lyrics.
Okay. And is this like a form of entertainment?
Yeah. So you would, you pay, I think we said that kids are going to be $5 and adults are 10.
Okay. Kind of like an escape room, but this is got to get out of this maze.
Right.
All right. And group 5, tell us about your invention. This is James, Melissa, Ted, and Varun.
You want some help?
This is an electric Triber truck, and you can have any color you want as long as it's gray. And this is going to be an eco-friendly truck alternative to the Cybertruck because we have just the 3 wheels. And it's got the hippie vibe going here with the hearts. And we feel like this will help save the environment.
Okay, a Triber truck. All right, and let's go to group 6. And this is Chris, Richard, Sammy, and Theodore. Tell us about your invention.
It's the club, for one, clubbing our way through problems when tact and diplomacy do not work.
Okay.
It's just a BFH on steroids.
A BFH?
Yeah. The first word is big and the last word is hammer, and you put in the center word.
Okay. All right. So we have some 6 inventions. So what I'm going to show you now, we're going to come back here. We just shared our inventions, and if this were your students or you were doing this in person, here would be their instructions. You would have them leave their invention and their bag of resources at their table, and then move in a clockwise direction around the room to the very next product. And their job is to modify or improve the product. And so just some examples when I've done this in person with students, they come up with just as diverse products as you've come up with. It just depends on what kind of supplies, but you won't even be able to imagine the kind of things they'll come up with. I remember one group created some sort of, they had a couple balloons in their bag, and I think with a straw, they created some barbell or something. And so every group, then when they would go to another group, they would take whatever that next product was, and they would have to improve upon it. And so one group that sticks out in my mind was that group that created the barbell, because every group they went to, they turned whatever they modified whatever the invention was to make it have something to do with some physical fitness activity. And so that was kind of their take on that. Your job, instead of moving clockwise, we're going to just move down the slides. So team 1, this time when you go back, you're going to go back to the same breakout room, but you're going to move to slide 2, and your job is to modify or improve this invention. Okay. And team 2 is going to move to slide 3. Team 3 is going to move to slide 4. Team 4 is going to move to slide 5, and so on. Team 6 will actually move up to slide 1. Okay. Any questions? Your job is to modify or improve it. You can also change the name. You can modify or improve it in whatever way you see best. Okay. We're going to send you back to the same breakout rooms, and then whoever got kicked out, we'll get you back into room 2. All right, go ahead and send them away. And this time you have 4 minutes, okay? Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'll share my screen again. This time we're going to start on slide 3. So we'll start with group 3. And I want group 3 tell us about your improvements to this, to the product. So group 3, that's Amy, Anna, Ethan, Robert.
Would it be the group before us or group 2?
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Yep.
Slide 3 is group 2.
Group 2, yeah.
That's Dawn, Jennifer, Matt, and Valerie.
So we just kind of updated it to allow you to pick the weather. So we see the different types of weather On the right-hand side, the rainbow, the rain, the lightning, the sun, a half moon, and then a heart because you're happy. So that arrow allows you to select what weather you want for that day. And then just two houses in the neighborhood. And we just would have a slogan of what's the weather, and you get to pick it using the arrow.
Okay. And you changed the name as well.
Correct.
My forecast. All right. Let's go to slide 4, and this is group 3. So Amy, Anna, Ethan, Robert.
I guess I can go this time.
Okay.
So we just kind of, made it a little bit more advanced, a little bit more complexity to the maze. We made it the 2.0 version. And then we also decided that it needed a lot more color.
Okay, so you've added color, you've moved the lightning, you've changed the obstacles a little bit, and you moved the start to where the end was.
Correct.
Okay. And let's go to slide 5, which is group 4. That's Chris, Emily, and Stephanie.
I'll chime in now.
Okay.
We upgraded the tri-electric truck because I don't trust a 3-wheeled truck, and I don't trust a truck that runs off of electricity. So we added a tire. We made it a 4-tire hybrid gas-electric truck.
Okay. And what's that little thing on the nose? Was that there before?
Sally just decided to put a battering ram on there for reasons that she's going to have to explain. So.
Okay, new and improved with a battering ram. All right, slide 6, which is group 5. Tell us about your improvements to this product. That's James, Melissa, Ted, and Varun.
I don't think we could really improve much on it, but we thought that we would want to have the velvet, kind of like the velvet glove with the iron fist inside it. We thought it would be a little more tactful and more approachable.
Okay, so
until we needed
product is a new name. Yeah. Okay, let's go to slide 1, and this is group 6. Chris, Richard, Sammy, and Theodore. Or Ted.
We kind of just decided to upgrade the whole thing because we were confused. So we reverse engineered it and came up with somebody that looks curiously like Rosie from the Jetsons.
Okay, I remember Rosie from the Jetsons. So still a service robot for Alzheimer's patients. Does the same kind of things, but just looks a little more familiar, especially to the aging population today, right? They would definitely be familiar with it, the Jetsons style robot. All right, and let's go to team 1 who worked on slide 2. So this is Dawn, Jennifer, Matt, team 1, right? Kimberly, Matthew, Michelle, and Trishanda.
Okay, so we decided foot massage. So this is supposed to be the little points for your feet to get a massage, and that's why I put the little what do you call it, the lightning bolt there.
Yes.
So the arrow is for your feet because as a teacher, I always get home very tired feet. So I wanted to add the massage there.
So we've added a foot massage to the equilibrium cushion. Okay, great. So we're going to do one more time. We're going to move to the next slide, and you'll have one last chance to improve on the invention. So team 1 is now going to go to slide 3. Team 2 will be on slide 4. Team 3 will be on slide 5. Team 4 will be on slide 6. And team 5 will be on slide 1. And team, what am I left with? 6 will be on slide 2. Okay, so you're just moving down one more slide. All right, so one more chance. You have 4 minutes to improve upon this product, okay? Send them away, Debbie. All right, we're on slide 4. And so this was team 2, Dawn, Jennifer, Matt, and Valerie. Tell us about your improvements to the got to get out of this maze.
So it's 3.0. We upgraded it from 2.0. We labeled the start with the arrow at the X and then labeled the finish. So when participants were in this maze, they knew where the starting point was and the finish line was to clarify how they would complete the maze. And then, like I said, it's the newest version, 3.0.
Okay, clever improvement on the title there. All right, and if we go to slide 5, this was team 3, Amy, Anna, Ethan, and Robert. Tell us about your improvements to the Triber truck?
Why not make it flying? And we were inspired by the hearts, and so it now has wings. Make it fly. Better pink.
You called it the Cupid flying truck.
We did.
All right. And slide 6, this is team 4. Chris, Emily, and Stephanie, tell us what you did to, what was the Velvet Club?
Yeah, we were kind of struggling, but we determined that we would make it like a multi-tool. So in addition, instead of just clubbing, you have a blade and a magnet. You can tase someone, and then that's little Pac-Man who can eat things.
Okay, I like it. All right. And you called it the Velvet Leatherman. All right. And we'll go to slide 1. And slide 1 was team 5. That's James, Melissa, Ted, and Varun. Tell us what you did here.
Ours was like just a giant infomercial, but wait, there's more. We said, why have one robot when you can have them all? To do every little task. They can specialize and divide up the labor. And so it's ultra bots for the patients, one bot for everything.
And I notice you also added self-defense in there.
Yeah, because these were from our various childhoods. Ultraman, and we recognize, I forget the robot from Lost in Space, but yeah, you just never know what you're going to need. You know, Rosie's great, but I'm not sure how well she is and what she do with self-defense. So we've got a robot to fill every need.
All right. And then we'll go to slide 2. And this was team 6, Chris, Richard, Sammy, and Ted.
The only way to really add to this one was just heat, and then brought in Pac-Man for the back massage.
Oh, Pac-Man for the back massage, and you've added heat for the chair and the foot massage. All right. And did you change the name? No. This one's name has stayed the same. It's just been improvements on the product. Okay. And let's go to slide 3, which was team 1. And that is Kimberly, Matthew, Michelle, and Trishanda.
I added snow because we want to have a snow day, and in Miami we don't have snow. So I thought it would be great to have snow, but we couldn't figure out how to make snow here. And all these other people are really geniuses or entrepreneurs because they know how to add things.
Right. So is that those little blue lines? Is that your snow?
Yeah, well, we found an X, so I try to make the X a snow.
Oh, like a snowflake. Okay.
Right.
All right. And some things I noticed, and this happens anytime we do this virtually, inevitably a team will grab something from outside the sources that are on the slide. And I never stop people or say you're not allowed to do that because it's entrepreneurial, right? Yeah. They come up with something. Just like in the classroom, when you give the students their little bag of supplies, they're probably going to find something else that somebody has in their backpack or something to use as part of their invention. And I would just say, let it happen. It doesn't ruin the activity. It just shows, some creative problem solving. And so it's okay. They grab things or duplicate items or things like that. So let's go back to our slides here. Great inventions that you guys came up with. I'm going to share one more video. Whoops, let me go back. From the Essential Scholars from the Joseph Schumpeter book, but this is a video that goes along with that.
Welcome to the Essential Ideas of Joseph Schumpeter. The phrase creative destruction was popularized by economist Joseph Schumpeter to describe the entrepreneurial process. What Schumpeter observed is that entrepreneurship simultaneously creates something new while destroying something old. Consider this example. In the late 1800s, the horse and buggy was the most widespread form of transportation, and it included a vast array of businesses and workers, people who raised horses, leather shops that made the harnesses and equipment, blacksmiths who forged and repaired the metal fittings, and so on. One day, Jane, an entrepreneur, saw the vast potential for profit if a horse could be replaced by a machine. Jane created a prototype that attracted some attention. At first, these automobiles were an interesting novelty that attracted a few customers. But Jane made enough profit to pay her workers and other costs, the first sign she was onto something. As Jane continued to innovate, more people wanted to buy her automobiles. With the additional revenue, Jane hired more workers to speed up production and moved into a larger space, which helped her lower prices, making the automobile accessible to more people. Soon, other entrepreneurs entered the automobile industry and added further innovations. This eventually lowered the price, and demands for automobiles increased, while demand for horse and buggies declined. This transfer of resources from the horse and buggy industry to the automobile industry had far-reaching implications for the entire economy. Stables that raised horses began laying off staff. Leather shops switched to making leather car seats, and blacksmiths started fashioning parts for automobiles. Eventually, many of the old industry's workers found employment in the new industry or elsewhere in the growing economy. One of Schumpeter's greatest contributions to economics was his observation that the destructive element to entrepreneurship was necessary to reap the rewards of new creative entrepreneurship and innovation. For more information on Joseph Schumpeter, visit essentialschumpeter.org.
So this term we were just introduced to is called creative destruction. And Joseph Schumpeter coined this term. It's the evolutionary process by which new products, processes, or markets destroy old ones, allowing economies to progress and evolve. So, we could have protected all of the horse and buggy, operators by stopping the production of cars. But by allowing for that production, it freed up resources to produce other things we could want in society. And look at the jobs that people are doing today and the things that people create and the things they produce. We couldn't even have imagined those things 20 or 30 years ago. Like, who would have thought 30 years ago that people could make money being an influencer, by having a teacher talk account on TikTok, and posting teacher videos. So old ways, new products and processes give way to new. So what are some examples from this activity of simultaneously creating something new while destroying something old? You think of some examples from our activity. Where was something new created that destroyed something old? One example that I think can come up with is the Triber truck that then became a flying truck, right? And flying trucks, what if we made it that, what if it becomes the Jetsons and we do get flying cars like we've all dreamed of, right? Those flying cars would, those new things, those old cars that we drive on the road with rubber wheels would give way and for new products to take their place. Joseph Schumpeter's view of creative destruction is also not just a new good replacing an old one, but also changes to the production process or even opening new sources of supply. So some examples in this activity, you guys found new sources of supply by just going to the internet and finding pictures of other robots or heat, things that you needed that weren't, easily available in our original supply of resources. The term creative destruction is actually a paradox. The paradox is that in order to enjoy the benefits of progress, some individuals might be worse off. Who would be worse off if we went to flying cars? What if we went to flying cars in the real world? Who's going to lose out? Who's going to be worse off?
Maybe
possibly the airline industry.
Yeah, maybe the airline industry. Who else?
Let's say tire makers,
Tires.
possibly.
Yeah, people who make tires, right?
Batteries.
Go ahead.
Batteries.
Yeah, people who make batteries, depending on how these flying cars are going to be operated. Anybody?
Road service construction.
What was that, Richard?
Road service.
Yeah,
Oh,
road
that's good.
service.
Oh, that's great.
In fact, we could just stop filling potholes, right? And we now can have more air traffic control kind of jobs. Highway construction people, somebody said in the chat. Stoplights and street sign producers, great examples. But what it does, it temporarily, things are going to be worse for those people. But the types of jobs that they, it frees up resources, including human resources, to produce even other things that we couldn't even imagine probably at this point, what those types of jobs would be. So if your job was going to become obsolete because of a new better product or process that comes along, what might you do to stop it? I mean, this actually could potentially happen with teachers and online education. Do we really need one teacher standing in a physical classroom teaching 30 high school students or higher ed students when we could do it virtually and probably scale that to a larger number and maybe add some TAs, to help? What might us teachers do to try to stop our jobs from becoming obsolete?
I think the teacher will be needed because of the fact we tried it in the past with the pandemic. It didn't work.
You're
Students
right.
wanted to be at school socializing, and they needed to have that interaction. And so would they eliminate teachers? I don't think so. I think
so,
there'll always be a need for a teacher person.
And so what we're going to do as teachers, we're going to hire somebody like Trisanda to go and lobby the politicians to explain that to them, right? To explain why teachers are essential. Yeah. And you can imagine, I mean, it's in our best interest to protect our jobs, right? We're going to lobby government to keep our jobs. And car producers would lobby government to keep flying cars out of the market. They're not going to be safe, right? Aren't we doing that with driverless cars right now? Truck drivers don't want driverless trucks, right? It would put them out of business. And so you can see why people have an incentive to lobby to protect their jobs. But what if we, typewriter producers, we don't have anybody that makes typewriters now. But if we had kept, and protected those typewriter jobs, it would, then where would we be? We could have stopped the progression, by having even what became computers today. So we're better off because of that creative destruction, that process. What would be the cost of stopping or impeding the process of creative destruction? What is the cost of stopping that creative destruction process?
Loss of innovation.
It is. It literally is. We stop innovation. And that innovation is at the heart of what drives economic growth in an economy. So even though it's painful, it's a constant churning in the economy. People are going to come up with newer, better ways to do things, and those older ways are going to die out. But that's the cost of economic growth and progress. What I want you to do, see how much time we have. I want you to look around, just around your classroom, wherever you are, or around home. And I want you to see if you can find an item that has become obsolete. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to find an item or a product that has become obsolete. Okay, and if you can't find anything, then come back here and you can enter it in the Zoom chat. Okay, but try to find something. All right, 3 minutes. Ready, set, go. I'm going to go to my husband's nightstand. I'm sure I'll find something. Just catching up on the chat. Richard said, should I question that VCR or TV repair shop down the street? There are still VCRs and TVs that need repaired. I don't know how much longer they'll be in business.
HS.
All right. Let's see what you guys have. We have somebody in the chat said a calculator. And why, Sammy? Why why is that obsolete?
Well, I'm in a computer class, so of course there's one on the toolbar and everybody's cell phone.
Everybody's got one on their cell phone, okay? Michelle said the radio. Why is the radio obsolete, Michelle?
Well, I still like the radio, but I think I could find it on my computer or my cell phone if I wanted to hear, a particular station.
Absolutely. Spotify has kind of replaced that. Okay, wow, what is that, Richard?
My VHS tape.
You have a VHS tape. What do you
Yes.
have, Melissa?
I have a 2-hole punch for punching the top of your papers to put them in a hanging file folder.
And yeah, and where are file folders now?
We still have a few, and I don't know why.
But
They're
most
all
of the
on your
files
they're
are
all on your
probably
computer.
on the computer, right? I had some old files I finally cleaned out and got rid of. I hadn't used them in 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, hold up in your cameras some other items you found. What is that, Amy?
A photo album.
A photo album. Yes, where are all of our photos now?
On mine or on my phone or my computer?
Yep, on our phone.
Digital.
Digital. What did you have, Ted?
So this is a CD of FTE activities that we used to mail out in 2007.
Yes. And all of our activities are on the web now, on the website. What do you have, James?
It's a floppy drive from the Council for Economic Education. So ordered their product. It's a floppy drive. I think they now just send it digitally.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, anybody else have one? Hold it up in the camera, unmute your microphone, and tell me what you have. What is that, Varun? Headphones with cords, right? Everybody uses wireless now, right? And you can't even plug them in. What do you have, Stephanie?
Just a corkscrew.
A corkscrew. I don't know. Is that obsolete?
No, it's not. It's not. But it's for me because I buy cheap wine.
Okay. I found this remote control for my fan, which is obsolete because we just tell Alexa to turn on the fan, you know, and what speed we want the fan to be. So lots of things have become, how is your life better because an item is now obsolete? So let's go back to the calculator example. I think that Samuel had, or Sammy. Why is your life better because that calculator is obsolete?
I don't want to keep this in my pocket at all times.
Yeah, you don't have to carry that around, right?
Right.
How is your life better, Richard, because you don't need to use that VHS tape?
So for me now, I can watch things wherever I want, whenever I want, and the tapes do eventually wear away.
They do wear out, and they take up a lot of space.
Yes.
And now it's not even worth, even if you have old DVDs and you still have a DVD player, it's easier often just to click play on the screen, right? And
yep.
Even if you have to pay $2.99, you're like, it's worth it, right? Yep. All right. So Joseph Schumpeter said the process of creative destruction is the essential fact about capitalism. It is how economies evolve and progress through time. Old goods and processes give way to new, creating a constant churning in the economy. Societies that allow creative destruction to unfold experience greater economic growth and development than those that don't. Okay, take a minute to scan this QR code. Or I'm going to have Debbie Davis. Do you have this link handy, Debbie? Can you put it in the chat for everybody?
Yes, putting it in the chat now.
Thank you. And eventually, once you click either follow that link in the chat. There we go. Or you can scan this QR code and it's going to take you to a folder that looks like this. And in the folder, you'll see the slides that I used today, as well as the team slides. Now, the team slides are editable, so students can edit them. So when you go into those, I might forget to reset the slides. So when you go into them now, you're going to see everybody's slides that look like this. But there's always some extra down here. And so you can just delete these and make extra copies of the clean ones. You can also, I would recommend just making a copy of these slides for yourself and then sharing that link with students. So then you can save them if you want or do whatever you like with those. But when you share them with students, if you do this digitally, you want to make that slide, when you share it with them, you want to make it so everybody can edit those slides. Also in the folder, you'll find a copy of the lesson. So here's a copy of the lesson, Build a Better Widget. It has the links to the videos and to the Essential Scholars book. I'm going to take you to that website right now. So this is part of a series at the Fraser Institute. They're a think tank out of Canada. they put together a series of books on essential scholars. So a lot of economists, philosophers. And so this is the one about Joseph Schumpeter. And if you scroll down, you can see there's podcasts related to it. There's several videos, one about who is Joseph Schumpeter. We saw the entrepreneurship and the creative destruction videos, but there's also one on the nature of competition and public choice. And then you can download the book. So you can download a free PDF of the book. They're really short little books. I don't think I have any handy here. I do in my office. You can also get the Kindle format, the iBook format. The Kindle one, it looks like you have to purchase. iTunes looks like you can just download it, an audiobook version, or you can order the book. I think that sometimes they have copies they'll just give out for free, but the PDF version is the easiest way to make it accessible for your students. And then you can explore it. If you wanted to use just a chapter with your students, like you just want to talk about entrepreneurship and profit and loss, that's chapter 2. You want to talk about creative destruction, you could have the students read chapter 3. It's very accessible for students to read. Okay, so let me go back to the lesson, the PDF here. And here's the teacher's guide. And you'll notice on the right side, it says virtual alternative. So the lesson plan is written in a way that you can, you'll do the activity in class with those tangible resources that we talked about where they're building inventions. And the virtual alternative explains how to do it like we just did. When you look at these slides that I've shared, there's some slides that are hidden because those are the ones you would use in person. And then you would just hide the slides that we use today that were for virtual, that had virtual instructions. And then there is, let's see, like an assignment down here, you could assign the following as homework where you have them read chapter 3 about creative destruction and have the students answer the following question. In his 1934 book, The Theory of Economic Development, Schumpeter discussed 5 different types of changes he considered part of the process of creative destruction. What are those 5 types of changes? Provide examples from the world around you of one or more of those 5 types of change. So that's an extension activity that you can have the students do outside of class as like a homework assignment or a follow-up to the activity that you did in class. Any questions about the lesson or the materials or running the activity in class? All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for coming tonight. Thanks for your
thank you, everyone.
Wednesday night.
Thank you.